This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
The following program is rated MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Well, is that not the truth of what? It does not matter who the host is. Today's Friday, July the 2nd of 2021, day 183 of the year. So that means we're on the flip side now, and only 182 days left to go. We would finally get there at some point. We kind of knew that was going to happen. Just seemed like it took a little bit longer than what we expected. Anyways, we're broadcasting live from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse of what we call Safety FM, just in case. And we're also hanging out with our sister station, the place over there that does the thing, the thing in the thing.
Radio in USA, Canada, UK.
Okay, so there you go. It is Freeform Friday, so we kind of do whatever, kind of is how it works. And by the way, thanks for all the people that reached out yesterday thinking that I was upset or that I had freaked out on the air. No. Just trying to do something different. Like I always say, I hate for it to be the same monotonous, same thing over and over again, and we need to change it up every once in a while. And I said, hey, I bet you if I shorten this thing today, it's going to probably be one of those things that might freak some people out. But I really wanted to give you some time to think about some other things as we did go about and come about and all that kind of fun stuff. So don't worry, everything is good and grand over here. Anyway, so let's continue talking about some things that are going on. So if you're not familiar with the show, it kind of goes like this. You talk, I listen, or I talk, you listen, or some crap like that. We interact in some boxes. We have a text line that you can actually text into. We also have a phone line. That's 866-930-SFM1. That's 866-930-SFM1. So depending on what side you're kind of hanging out on inside of the lovely world here, we can do some different things. So that's the cool part. So if you want to text in, you can. If you want to call in, you can. Sometimes the phone thing is just not the greatest. I will tell you that just ahead of time. So I can get you into the phone line if we patch you in, just FYI. I can see things this morning on the screen, but does not guarantee that things are going across because there's one thing that normally kind of gives me the big number stuff, and it's kind of freaking out on me at the moment. So if I don't get to your message right away, there might be some reason to the madness. I did see the one this morning. Good morning, Doc. A nice tune. Thank you. Yes. We'll talk about the tune here in a moment as we do go about. Unfortunately, if you're not on the radio station or the streamer, definitely if you're on the podcast side, you will have no clue, or you will not get to listen to the song because that's just how the agreements work on how we do it. So if you're not familiar with the show, let me tell you how it goes. It goes like this. You talk, we listen, talk, blah, 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 that stuff. But we talk about the developments of the things that are going on inside of the world of the news and safety. We get some professional broadcasters to talk about what exactly is going on. And then I come back in and give you my Jar Jar. Oh, no, not Jar Jar Binks, but my jargon of what I'm thinking about the whole thing. So there you go. That's what's going on. So let's get it moving and grooving. Let's start talking about the things that will be trending on the video on demand services over this long extended weekend, just in case you were not aware. So new to Amazon is the Tomorrow War. That's the one with Chris Pratt. They've been advertising quite a bit. New to Disney Plus will be The Sandlot Part 1 and 2. New to HBO Max, Let Him Go. New to Hulu, Summer of Soul. Bill and Ted Face the Music. Dreamcatcher. And then new to Netflix, The Eighth Night, Big Timber. Fear Street Part 1, 1994. Mortel. Is that kind of like a horror hotel? And then We the People. Yeah, We the People. That's something else. That's something entirely different. You would have to probably be a little bit older at this point to understand that one. So anyways, that's what's going on inside of the video on demand services. Let me get you to my friends at Feature Story News, and we'll get you moving and grooving with them, and let's get you that way.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. The final American and NATO forces have left Afghanistan's Bagram Air Base. The withdrawal from the base that's represented the epicenter of the two-decade fight against the Taliban and Al-Qaeda could herald an imminent, complete withdrawal of foreign forces from the country. US President Joe Biden said American troops will have left by September the 11th. The UK's opposition, Labour, has won a by-election in Northern England to see off, for now, a potential leadership challenge for leader Keir Starmer. Kim Leadbeater held on to the seat for Labour and will represent the constituency at Westminster of Batley and Spen. Vicky Smith reports from the Count.
It was an incredibly close vote. There were two bundle recounts, which is a step short of a full recount, but Kim Leadbeater was eventually confirmed as the new MP for Batley and Spen.
I do hereby declare that Kim Michelle Leadbeater is duly elected.
There were just over 300 votes between her and the Conservative candidate Ryan Stevenson. That is a huge reduction in the party's previous majority in this constituency. Now the result clearly means a huge amount to Kim Leadbeater. It's just over 5 years since her sister Jo Cox was murdered by a right-wing extremist in Birstall.
There's way too many people to mention by name, but I do want to refer to my family and my friends who, without them, I could have not got through the last 5 years, never mind the last 5 weeks.
With more than 800 fatalities recorded on Friday, India's become the third nation to cross 400,000 COVID deaths. It trails behind the US and Brazil. Ishan Garg reports from New Delhi.
India has one of the lowest deaths per million among the 10 worst affected nations, according to official data. But experts believe the real death numbers could be at least 3 times as high, as deaths occurring outside hospitals are not categorized as COVID deaths. But with the country's daily caseload falling to 46,000 on Friday as compared to 400,000 cases just 2 months ago, authorities are hopeful. Even so, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is asking people to not let their guard down.
The US Attorney General has ordered a pause on federal executions. Merrick Garland says serious concerns have been raised about the practice, such as the impact on people of colour. Jagruti Dave reports from Washington.
Some of those concerns outlined by the US Attorney General include the arbitrariness in the death penalty's application, the disparate impact on people of colour, and the troubling number of exonerations in capital and other serious cases. The move by the Justice Department is in stark contrast to the previous administration's approach. According to the Associated Press, the Trump administration allowed 13 executions in 6 months.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks. Today, the Chinese Communist Party at the age of 100. Yesterday, marking the anniversary, President Xi Jinping made a pugnacious speech, insisting that the country will not be bullied or oppressed by anyone, and warning foreign powers that if they seek to interfere in the country's internal affairs, they will get their heads bashed in response. But what's the outlook for the Communist Party as it continues to shape modern China? Rana Mitter is a professor of the history and politics of China at Oxford University.
In some ways, the very angry rhetoric of much of this speech has to be seen in the context of a China that is, on the one hand, showing confidence about the future, but actually is worried about a lot of things, including trouble on the borders in Xinjiang, in Hong Kong, in Inner Mongolia, actually, which isn't talked about often so much. Basically, in 10 years from now, we'll be talking about a China that has 5 million fewer people every year because of the drop-off in population, and also much older, needing pensions, needing social care, needing all the various requirements of an aging society. That's the kind of thing, the kind of longer-term, slower change that I think is really keeping the party awake at night.
He argues the vehemence of President Xi's speech was primarily aimed at a domestic audience in China, and it should be remembered that by 2028, the Communist Party is on track to preside over the world's largest economy, which could itself drive possible liberalisation. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks.
To recap the top stories, the final American and NATO forces have left Afghanistan's Bagram Air Base. The UK's opposition Labour's won a by-election in Batley and Spen to see off a potential leadership challenge for Keir Starmer. With more than 800 fatalities recorded in the last 24 hours, India's become the third nation to cross 400,000 COVID deaths, and the US Attorney General's ordered a pause on federal executions. That's the latest feature story news. Ollie Barrett reporting.
Safety in a way never heard of before. The Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Welcome to Calvin's Barbershop.
You all got to see this.
I don't even want to know what you're looking at on that phone.
Well, you should. I was learning about the dangers of high blood pressure and that we need to get ours checked regularly. High blood pressure can increase the risk of heart attack or stroke, but this text program can help keep it at a healthy range. Just text Barbershop to 97779 to sign up.
I'll get right on it as soon as I'm done with this baby panda video.
Text Barbershop to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
It's important to plan ahead for emergencies, like the storm. When it kicked in, we had a plan.
Separated.
We were able to get in touch with each other in no time.
Idea how to find each other.
The whole experience was fine.
the most frightening 10 hours of my life.
If there's one piece of advice I'd offer other moms out there, it's to stay calm and keep to the plan.
Message. Some parents plan ahead, some don't. Make sure you know where to find your family in an emergency. Start your plan at ready.gov. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
You know how sometimes you're out and about and sometimes you have to access a report, maybe your bank account, maybe something that's important to you, but you don't want other people to be able to access it? I know you're probably sitting there for a moment going, well, why don't you just go into incognito mode and use that instead? Well, let me tell you something real quick. Incognito mode does not hide your activity. It doesn't matter what mode you use or how many times you clear your browser's history. Your internet service provider can still see every single website you visited. And that's why even when I'm at home, I never go online without using ExpressVPN. It doesn't matter who your internet provider is. It can be Verizon, Comcast, or even AT&T. The ISP in the U.S. can legally sell your information to ad companies. ExpressVPN is an app that reroutes your internet connection through their secure servers so your ISP can't see the sites that you visit. ExpressVPN also keeps all of your information secure by encrypting 100% of your data with the most powerful encryption available. Most of the times, I don't even realize I have ExpressVPN on. It runs seamlessly in the background and is so easy to use. All you have to do is tap one button and you're protected. ExpressVPN is available on all of your devices, phones, computers, even your smart TV. So there's no excuse for you not to be using it. Protect your online activity today with the VPN rated #1 by CNET and Wired. Visit my exclusive link at expressvpn.com/safety and you can get an extra 3 months free on a 1-year package. That's expressvpn.com/safety. expressvpn.com/safety to learn more.
Hello, Kubo. What have you got planned for today?
Come on, this way.
Adventure can be found anywhere, but the best place to start is in the forest.
It's the most powerful magic there is.
Head outside to discover incredible animals.
Wow.
And beautiful plants that come together to create an unforgettable adventure. So grab your loved ones and explore a world of possibilities. Visit discovertheforest.org to find the closest forest or park to you. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
My teacher said that we should have a plan in case of an emergency. Do we have one?
First thing I'm going to do is grab a flashlight with dead batteries.
I'm going to start randomly throwing clothes in the bag. You two will be hiding in the closet and Dad won't be able to find you.
And that's when we both start crying.
Uncontrollably. Can you pass the cutlets?
Winging it is not an emergency plan. Make sure your kids know what to do during an emergency, who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Search Ready Kids at nyc.gov or call 311. Brought to you by the New York City Office of Emergency Management and the Ad Council.
This show is almost as enjoyable as hearing the sound of the toilet flush.
Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
So there you go. A lot of stuff going on, of course, inside of the world. And I want to say that the newscaster did say Rhonda Mitra, which to me, she's a famous actress from many, many, many moons ago. So when he did say that, it did throw me off. But that's if you were paying very, very, very close attention to what was going on. So to start it off slightly different today, let's go ahead and bring Johnny Smalls in and let him tell you a little bit about the market beat.
Here's your Market Beat Minute for Friday, July 2nd, 2021. The equities market started the second half of the year on solid footing. The broad market S&P 500 advanced more than 0.5% at the height of the session, with slightly smaller gains for the Dow Jones Industrial Average and the NASDAQ Composite. An up day on the first day of the new quarter generally leads to an up quarter. The question is, how high will the index go before it hits its next peak? If today's non-farm payroll report pleases the market, we can expect the index to rise another 3 to 5% before experiencing major turbulence. Next week will likely be a quiet one for the market. Not only is it a holiday-shortened week, but there are very few earnings reports or economic releases of note. The big hurdle for the market will be the Q2 earnings report season, which kicks off in about 2 weeks. You can get the inside track from Wall Street's brightest minds delivered directly to your inbox every day at marketbeatminute.com.
Okay, thank you for that one, Johnny Smalls. On that one, what exactly is going on inside of the market? Here's what we found on our end. Markets rose on Thursday to begin the second half of the year. The Dow lifted 131 points. The NASDAQ gained about 18 points, and the S&P added 22 points. Jobless claims fell to a new low since the virus situation began. I didn't know it was a situation, but let's call it that. First-time claimants were down 51,000 to finish below 364,000 last week. Ford finished about 1% lower during Thursday's session after announcing plans to close select assembly plants for a couple of weeks during the July in response of the semiconductor chip shortage. Isn't that great? So we have to close some shit down because we're kind of short. So there you go. Anyways, let's start talking. It is 17 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out this lovely Friday. Now, keep in mind, just in case if you didn't forget, it is a holiday weekend. We will be here radio station-wise. I will not be here in the present form unless something kind of weird happens where, you know how it goes. Sometimes you show and sometimes you don't. So I might not be here on Monday, just FYI. I think it's kind of funny how I'm looking around seeing people, taking extended breaks, and it's cool. Somebody who I admire announced earlier this week, they're taking off until September. I was like, how do you land a gig like that? Tell me. Someone, please tell me.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, thousands of COVID-19 patients in India have also been diagnosed with, let's see if we could butcher this, what they're calling the black fungus. That is leaving some with vision loss. The rare yet serious infection is caused by a group of molds, which usually do not agitate healthy individuals, but can be problematic for those with health issues. There have been nearly 40,000 cases of black fungus in India, which has also been documented over the last 30 million cases of COVID-19. So think about that. So besides the COVID thing is actually running rampant, all of a sudden, boom, now you have this other thing going on as well. So the kind of makes it kind of weird, as we are definitely talking about it.
More sarcasm than Mortal Kombat Beatdown. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so listen to this one. Bear with me as I am talking about this, but a man from the UK made medical and sexual history after accidentally snapping his penis during sex. Yeah, snapping it. We present the first documented case of a vertical penile fracture sustained by a 40-year-old man during sexual intercourse. The case study published by the British Medical Journal states, yes, that's where it ends. Medical experts report that the injury occurred during ill-timed thrust. The unidentified patient underwent surgery and has since been fully recovered. He was reportedly back in the sack 6 months later. Interesting choice of words. Back in the sack. 6 months. I mean, how do you even have that conversation during the incident? Like, what do you say? Like, the moment that it happens, what do you turn around and say, by the way, can we pause for a moment because I got something?
Listen to our host of the Rated R Safety Show self-implode on our airwaves, only on Safety FM.
Okay, a deadly cobra that escaped from the owner's house in North Carolina has been found. The zebra cobra, which can spit poisonous venom as far as 9 feet. Wow, that sounds scary. Cornered and captured by animal control yesterday. Authorities warned residents about the reptile after it was spotted on a neighborhood porch, earlier in the week. Yeah, that sounds like fun. The pet reportedly belongs to 21-year-old Christopher Gifford, who owns multiple other venomous snakes, according to News and Observers. It is unclear how the snake got loose, and it is if any law was broken in the process. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Let's talk about the snake here. What the hell is it called? A zebra cobra. I have a video about some cobras. I really do. I'm sure you might have seen this one. Maybe do we do it? Do we do the video? Yeah, I think we're okay with doing the video. Let's do the video just for a second for you to take a look at this. Tell me. So just look at this as cobras. I mean, look at this craziness. I don't know what's going on there. But, you get the gimmick. You get it. You get what's going on. So just imagine you're hanging out and all of a sudden your front porch has something along those lines. I don't even know if that's a zebra cobra or not, but you get the point. So think about that. I mean, woo. Let's just move forward. Anyways, let's continue talking. The Delta variant is now the most common strain of COVID-19 virus in the U.S., according to new data. Despite the increase of federal health officials say fully vaccinated people don't need to worry about masking up again, as they should be protected against the variant. Meanwhile, the WHO suggests that everyone return to mask wearing and keep distance from others. So what do you think about this as you hear this now? So you got one that's saying one, you got another that's saying another thing. So what do you think? Is it time to put the mask back on? Or do you think that you should just stay locked up and not do anything? I mean, that's a thing. I don't know. I mean, that's the question that I have for you. What are you planning on doing? So remember, we were told, but things are always subject to change, of course, that, Independence Day, which is what we're coming into in the weekend, should be the time where people should be able to return pretty much back to normal, have a barbecue in their backyard and all that kind of fun stuff. So as you're looking at this and hearing about this, saying, hey, this is the variant, is it a level of fear that comes attached where you go, I'm not sure if I want to do this? Or do you go, I'm not going to say it, but, F it and just move forward? I don't know. I think you're going to have to make those individual choices.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Okay, more than a dozen people were injured when the LAPD bomb squad truck was blown up during a planned detonation of illegal fireworks late Wednesday. The blast occurred after authorities confiscated more than 5,000 pounds of illegal fireworks from a South Los Angeles home. The explosion also damaged nearby cars and homes. One arrest was made in connection to the fireworks. Oh, there you go. Then you're going to also have some other stuff that's going to come about because of the firework damage. You know that that's going to happen. You kind of know how this goes. That's just part of the gig. Anyways, a 10-year-old from Houston is being called a hero after saving the life of a 5-year-old girl who was drowning. Ricky August Jr. was swimming last weekend and then spotted Egypt Brady at the bottom of the pool and not moving at all. He swam to the bottom, grabbed the little girl, carried her to the pool stairs where others began administering CPR. Egypt was taken to a hospital where she has made a full recovery. This week, Ricky's family threw him a celebration in recognition of his rescue, and he got to meet Egypt, and her parents. Well, congratulations. That is really cool to hear. A little kid saving another little kid's life. Did I actually just hit that button? Yes, I did. Okay, here we go. Spanking doesn't work according to some scientist. Spanking doesn't work according to some scientist. Elizabeth Geshaw, a professor of the University of Texas in Austin, and her team recently analyzed 61 U.S.-based studies and 8 international reports of physical punishment and its effect on children's behavior. The team found out that physical punishment increases child's aggression and other behavioral problems at the time. It does not improve children's attention, cognitive thinking abilities, social relationships, or social skills. Worth noting, the practice of spanking is illegal in the U.S., while 62 other countries around the world have banned it as well. Also, it is allowed in schools in 19 states. So let me make sure that I'm clear here. Spanking is not good for little kids. Okay. Got it.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, the Tour de France has decided not to press charges against the obvious fan who was caused the massive pileup last week. Race director Christian Prudhomme said that they withdrew their complaint against a 30-year-old woman who was arrested this week. Prudhomme told Reuters that the incident has been blown out of proportion, but he also used the story to remind everyone of the safety rules on the race. Really? The unidentified woman does face a $1,700 fine and up to a year in prison, according to French authorities. So hold on. Remember the rules. Here we go. Let's get louder about remembering the rules, people. Let's not break the rules. Let's make sure we're safe. It's like, come on. Anytime that you have a single point as a safeguard, it's not going to do it. Or if you have it's a person between you and getting injured, it's not going to be the thing. It's not the gim. It's not going to work. Seriously. Like if you I know that if you try to put anything out there where you're trying to put a barrier for all the miles that these people are actually going, yeah, that might be a little bit difficult of a task to do. But you can't sit there and think that, okay, this one mess up, let's tell everybody of the safety rules of the race. So what are you going to do? Essentially get to the point where you have no spectators hanging out there? I'm just asking. I mean, you could make it boring and put it inside of a stadium and just go into a circle. I mean, I know that I'm actually breaking the wall there in regards of saying this. But it's an interesting thing. It is definitely an interesting thing as we are talking. Anyways, let's continue a little bit more. Over 3.5 million Americans are still on state unemployment benefits despite the drop of people seeking new claims. Continuing claims rose by 56,000 last week, according to the Labor Department. At the same time last year, the number was nearly 19 million. New filing of jobless claims reached 364,000 last week, down from the week prior of 515,000. So if you are an employer or if you are a hiring manager in your organization, what are you seeing? Are you seeing a lot of positions still being there waiting, or are you seeing a lot of people applying? Now, and let's be realistic. Is the job worth it? Is it worth the cost? Because some people are like, well, we have this part-time job that we're doing minimum wage for. Hold on. We have this part-time job we're doing minimum wage for, and nobody's applying for it. Part-time, minimum wage. I mean, I understand, wanting to do the work, get it. But that might be a harder job to fill. Where if you have another position inside of the organization, it's a little bit higher paying, and it's not, and it has some benefits to it, well, that might be a little bit easier to fill. So what are you seeing? Because that's the thing. We can talk about this until we're blue in the face here. Yeah, I said face. So what do you think? Is it going to change anything? And I think that it's interesting that you still hear a lot of people sit around and talk and go, well, the only reason why we're not filling the jobs is because of the unemployment benefit. I don't think a lot of people are sitting around at home and going, okay, they got nothing to do and I'm not going to apply for anything. I mean, there's some different things that are going on from state to state. Now, of course, that's an opinion of mine because I know I can get some people pissed relatively quick by stating my opinion, which is kind of weird when it comes to this show. But it's kind of a fun stuff that we do talk about here. Anyway, so let's continue. Yeah, should we continue? I think we should. Yeah, let's continue. Whatever the hell we were continuing.
You are listening to something magical. You're listening to the Rated R Safety Show.
It may be hard to believe, but people just like you are already saving money. FeedThePig.org makes it easy. Their simple savings plan teaches you how to start saving without going overboard, so you don't need to start foraging wild berries.
I was skeptical, but these are actually pretty good.
You don't need to sell your soul to the devil.
$15 is the best I can do.
You just need FeedThePig.org. Don't get left behind. Get tips and tools at FeedThePig.org. Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
Welcome to Calvin's Barbershop.
You all gotta see this.
I don't even want to know what you're looking at on that phone.
Well, you should. I was learning about the dangers of high blood pressure and that we need to get ours checked regularly. High blood pressure can increase the risk of heart attack or stroke, but this text program can help keep it at a healthy range. Just text Barbershop to 97779 to sign up.
I'll get right on it as soon as I'm done with this baby panda video.
Text Barbershop to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
We all want to make sure that our family is protected in medical emergencies. What many of us don't realize is that health insurance won't always cover the full amount of an emergency medical flight. Even with comprehensive coverage, you could get hit with high deductibles and copays. That's why an Air Medcare Network membership is so important. As a member, if an emergency arises, you won't see a bill for air medical transport when flown by an AMCN provider. Best of all, a membership covers your entire household for as little as $85 a year. AMCN providers are called upon to transport nearly 100,000 patients a year. This is coverage no family should go without. Now, as a Jay Allen Show listener, you'll get up to a $50 e-gift card with a new membership. Simply visit airmedcarenetwork.com/safety and use the offer code SAFETY. And don't forget to tell them that Jay Allen sent you.
The storks are bringing me a baby brother. We can do this together.
All right, let's go.
Storks know how to keep kids safe. Do you?
What?
Oh my gosh, you don't know.
I know.
You don't? Oh man, you laugh when you're uncomfortable.
No.
Making sure your child is in the right car seat is one of the steps to safer travel.
I will rock this.
You will rock this.
To know for sure that your child is in the right car seat for their age and size, visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat. Cool. Very cool. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
It's important to plan ahead for emergencies, like the storm. When it kicked in, we had a plan.
Separated.
We were able to get in touch with each other in no time.
Idea how to find each other.
The whole experience was
the
fine.
most frightening 10 hours of my life.
If there's one piece of advice I'd offer other moms out there, it's to stay calm and keep to the plan.
Message.
Some parents plan ahead, some don't. Make sure you know where to find your family in an emergency. Start your plan at ready.gov. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Get back into some moving and grooving here, of course, talking about some other things going on inside of the world of the news and all that kind of fun stuff as we are talking this morning. So what are your plans this weekend? Of course, with everything going on, all the stuff that we're hearing and all that kind of stuff. So I don't even know. I mean, I don't know with everything going on. Like, do you stay home because of the variant? Or do you kind of not do anything? So I don't know. I mean, I know that I have plans, but it's like going from one location to another and kind of same people that I've been locked up with. So I don't really think it's going to change much of anything of what I originally had planned. What about for you? What are you going to do? And are you going to any kind of fireworks celebration? And let me make sure that I'm clear here. For some people, living in Orlando does not mean that you automatically see all of the Disney, Universal, and SeaWorld fireworks. I don't even know if SeaWorld does fireworks, but you don't see fireworks nightly. I mean, I just want to make sure. It depends on where you live. And you have to be close to the theme parks, and you're kind of cray-cray if you actually live in Orlando and are close to the theme parks, unless you live at the theme park, and that is a possibility to do. can get kind of expensive, but we can have a conversation about that at some other point.
Duh.
Anyway, so let's get back into some news things because that's why you're here. Starbucks is fully aware that some off-menu drinks dreamed up by customers have become popular. So the company is making it easier to order them. Starbucks started a test this week that allows customers to order 2 custom beverages through Facebook and Instagram. If you have seen the images of the social media platforms, you can swipe to access the special Starbucks webpage where you the order can be placed. Or on the menu are 2 drinks like an iced matcha latte with chai and the pink drink remixed. The matcha chai combination was popularized by TikTok earlier this year. Do they deliver, or do I still have to show up and hear my name pronounced wrong? I don't know. I mean, I have a guy that I know that he has a pretty good drink all the way down, but it ends up being nothing after he orders it. It's pretty cool. So let's talk about this. Carl's Jr. thinks that its chicken sandwich is so hot that they put it on OnlyFans. Not joking here. For the unaware, OnlyFans is a subscription service where fans pay money to access content by specific creators. It is largely used by, we'll say sex workers through other types of content creators, such as fitness trainers, use it too. Carl's has embraced the association to OnlyFans with sex, featuring suggestive videos of disembodied hands, doing things with caressing burgers, in other words, fun with buns, displayed across the screen. While a sultry R&B song plays in the back, repeating the words, "I've got to get saucy." So in some kind of way, shape, or form, did we just witness a chicken tease? A chicken strip tease is literally what it sounds like. If you want to find out more information about it, you can go to tinyurl.com/ here we go, the weirdness, 9NKBHWXC. That's 9NKBHWXC. Why do I even say these things sometimes?
Oops. What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Okay, news of the weird. 2 men have successfully completed the Nebraska to Aspen mini bike road trip from Dumb and Dumber. And yes, one of them wound up with wet pants. This is not a joke. Art Henning and Zach Court from the motorcycle blog Common Thread Custom built mini bike, just like the one on Jim Carrey's Lloyd Christmas and Jeff Daniels' Harry Dunn used in the 1994 flick. Then they drove 400 miles across Nebraska plains and over the Rocky Mountains, a trip that took 3 days and required a number of roadside repairs. The pair knew that riding the tiny 6-horsepower bike with 5-inch wheels and, a complete lack of suspension wouldn't be comfortable. They spent much of the trip shivering, and the last minute rainstorm left the courts in wet pants upon their arrival in Aspen, reminiscent of the famous movie scene where Harry urinates on Lloyd during the coldest part of the fictional road trip. And according to the map, they could only went for 4 inches. So there you go. That's some information there. There is a link on YouTube for it, just in case if you're interested. I have to tell you, it's kind of a world that we live in, that we put video onto anything at this particular point. How do you think he ended up with video on radio? I don't get it, but hey, because if you have video and radio combined, wouldn't that just be known as TV? I mean, come on, let's think about it for a moment. I don't think there's a lot of thought that needs to take a listen or take a twist there.
Listen at your own risk. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, a teenager from Minnesota has claimed the title of the biggest mouth on the planet. Isaac Johnson was encouraged to seek the Guinness record, officially known as the widest gaping mouth, when he saw a German win the title with 8.8 centimeters wide in 2017. After a lot of training, Johnson opened his mouth and was measured a tiny bit larger than 8.8 centimeters. But a few months later, his record was broken by a largemouth Pennsylvanian with 9.52 centimeter face hole. How are we getting into this, by the way? But Johnson wasn't going to take the dethroning lightly and hope that his mouth would grow as he continued through his teenage years. In October, he officially was shocked when the measurement came back. Guinness Book of World Records at 10.175. centimeters. That's 4 inches, just in case. Isaac's mouth is so big that you can fit objects like a baseball, a soda can, and even a large apple with plenty of room to spare. Somebody get the kids some lip balm. So there you go. That's gonna be some interesting thing. Of course, you can find all this stuff online. All you have to do is get really bored and start digging. And apparently, my friends around here got really bored and started to dig.
Safety in a way never heard of before. The Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
So here you go, some info for you. The term chuggy, chuggy, which describes a person who is out of trend or trying too hard, has blown up on TikTok, prompting users promoting particularly 20 to 30-somethings to wonder if they fall into that category. Gucci belts, ripped skinny jeans, and monogrammed tops all made onto the user's Young Pilots list of chuggy items, amazing nearly 300,000 likes. Other things called out a chuggy include Ray Dunn poetry, having girl boss energy, decorated wooden signs, and the live laugh love variety. There you go. And using nonsense words that really just make no basic sense is another way to think about some of it. But here's what I'm going to tell you. It's kind of funny that we sit around and we talk about some of this stuff because this is what I kind of find interesting. Because where does your freeing come about? Like, where does it come to the point where you start going, okay, a lot of this stuff doesn't make sense? And I guess we'll kind of go into the philosophical side of life for a moment. But none of that shit matters. Ripped jeans, skinny jeans, tight jean, Jenko jeans. Do you. Do what makes you happy. I mean, we get to the point where people get so hung up on the shit that they own. It's kind of ridiculous. And I just go, what's the point? Realistically, if you would want to not be your life based on the shit that you own. I mean, let's be real. People get kind of hung up on some weird stuff. And I'll talk about this for a moment. And I don't think I'm a materialistic kind of guy. I will say at one point in my life, I definitely was. But what's the value? What's the value? I mean, if you're going to do concept stuff, I would say, yeah, take some dive in some interesting safety things. But what is the material worth to you? I'm a jeans and t-shirt kind of guy. At the moment, I'm a jeans and shorts kind of guy. My shoes should not impress you. My shorts should not impress you. My t-shirt should not impress you. That you're like, oh my God, I can't believe this guy wore this. Or vice versa. I'll put it to you this way. I have this conversation with friends of mine all the time. I'm a jeans and t-shirt kind of person. If I'm trying to go somewhere and I can't get in with the jeans and t-shirt, probably not a place for me. And probably not a place I wanted to hang out in the first place, if I really give it some thought. But some people don't like me saying that.
You are listening to a radio god. What? This has to be an error. That host is not a radio god. Anyways, this is the Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Okay, so I'm going to jump into the swamp real quick because I want to share this with you. But did you hear about this? President Trump tells Sean Hannity that he has made the decision about running for president in 2024, but won't disclose what his decision is. Considering his recent public events and appearances, all signs point that Trump is getting into the fold shortly after midterms next November. So there you go. There you go. Some things to think about if you're interested in that, because you know that's going to be a subject of conversation as we continue to move forward. Anyways, let's talk about the lottery real quick, as we are 46 minutes past the top of the hour. So no winner for Tuesday night's Mega Million drawing. Tonight's drawing will be for $72 million jackpot or a $50.2 million cash payout. No winner for Wednesday night's Powerball drawing. Saturday's drawing will be for a $101 million jackpot or a $71.3 million cash payout. So there you go. some interesting stuff. So as we talk, because I talk about everything in regards to the world of broadcasting and podcasting, and so we'll talk about those. But Jeremy Pippen is launching his own podcast. The actor who played the foul-mouthed agent in HBO's Entourage has teamed up with Cast Media for How You Live in J. Pippen. Yeah, not a joke. How You Live in J. Pippen. The series will launch on July the 14th. It sees Pippen sit down with stars such as Jamie Foxx, Tiffany Haddish, Common, Mark Cuban, and UFC star Rashad Evans. So there you go. Some interesting stuff going on for sure. Do we want to talk about some of this stuff? This is more like radio big stuff, just in case. I'll say this one and then I'll get out of here. The financial institution that judge set to become the co-conservator for Britney Spears' estate has backed out of the agreement. Sources with the direct knowledge of the situation told TMZ that Beesmer Trust has decided it does not want to get involved because of all the drama surrounding the conservatorship. This means that now Britney's dad, James Spears, will remain as sole conservative of her estate. So there you go. We'll leave it at that. Let's continue talking a little bit more. Oh, look at that. Dean Cain in the news. Let's continue. Going on through some other stuff. Okay, so let's talk about the world of sports. LeBron James is unlikely to make another Olympic appearance. The head of the team of the USA told ESPN this week that we're almost certainly seeing the last of James representing the U.S. on the hardwood. You know, Father Time takes its toll. USA basketball managing director Jerry Kalenko added that James decided not to participate in last couple of Olympics, but said that last year that he did not retire from the consideration for future summer games. After his Lakers playoff loss, James told reporters that he is going to play for the Toon Squad instead of the Olympics this year, referring to his film role in the movie Space Jam: A New Legacy. So there you go. Let's continue talking real quick about some other stuff. What is this real quick? Let's talk about some things that happened back on this date, because I think that's going to be important. Let me see. Back in 2018, divers discovered 12 boys and their coach alive in a cave in Thailand. The group had been trapped for more than 9 days after a monsoon flooding. They would all be safely pulled out of the cave by, are you ready for this? July the 10th. July the 10th. And I did say on this day, which is July the 2nd. So think about that. Anyways, let's talk about some birthdays real quick if you care to know about this. Margot Robbie turns 31. Alex Morgan, 32. Lindsay Lohan, 35. Hold on. Margot Robbie and Lindsay Lohan are only 4 years apart? I did not know that. Ashley Tisdale turns 36 today. Joe Thornton, 42. Elizabeth Reeser, 47. Peter Kay, 48. Brett the Hitman Hart, 64. Johnny Koala, 69. Larry David turned 74 today. So there you go. That's some birthdays that are going on. If you need a drink to think about coming up for this up-loving holiday, I got something for you. How about the Rose Martini? This will be courtesy of Food Map Everywhere. All you need is 1 ounce of gin, half an ounce of rose simple syrup, and half an ounce of water and a little bit of ice. Directions, here you go. Combine the ingredients in a cocktail shaker. Shake until a little ice chips breaks off, and then strain into a chilled martini glass, and then serve that bad boy, because that's what you got. That's what you got right there. Some good stuff going on real quick. If you're looking for some days of the year that you can celebrate, National Forgot Day. Oh, I almost forgot that today was National Forgot Day. And World UFO Day. I wonder if that's big like in New Mexico. I'm not joking. I'm being serious as I say that. So some stuff to think about there for sure. Anyways, let's go into the other side. Let's talk about, we already talked about days that you can celebrate. So I will reference this. Know that Sunday is Independence Day, but it's also Country Music Day. So Country Music Day is celebrating the roots of music movement that began back in America almost 100 years ago with the Carter family and Jimmy Rogers. Country is actually a mishmash of several other styles, including folk, Celtic, blues, gospel, hokum, and old-time music. So there you go. That's celebrated on the 4th as well. Barbecue Day is also celebrated on the 4th. Almost everyone loves the taste of freshly grilled hot dogs, hamburgers, and steak. So gather up the gang and celebrate the time-honored tradition of singeing off your eyebrows and your arm hair. And there you go. You can celebrate. Sidewalk Egg Frying Day is also on July the 4th. A lot of people probably don't know this either. The middle of the summer is the hotter than blazes. Yeah. Why is it the hottest? It's so hot that you could also fry an egg on most sidewalks. Here's your chance to go ahead and prove it. What if I wanted them to get poached? Well, I guess that could be an issue for you, just in case. Anyways, let me give you some whack facts real quick because I think that this is going to be important. The milk scene in several TV commercials is usually glue to prevent sogginess, and it's actually causing the cereal to sink. There you go. Blowing out candles can increase bacteria by 1,400. Yeah, bacteria by 1,400 when you're blowing them off a cake. So, yay. Let's go to more birthday parties. The first 4th of July celebration included 13 cannon shots and 13 toasts. This was in Philadelphia, 1777. Americans typically eat about 150 million hot dogs on Independence Day, enough to stretch across from D.C. to L.A. more than 5 times. The average of 2 people per year die from flatulence. Yeah, I did say that out loud.
Oops. What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
So let's just talk about this because we are doing freeform. Did you ever get the weird rules of summer? Like you got the weird rules that your parents might have told you, your friends, the urban legends and all that. So here, I got some for you. So here's the strange summer camp rules that people have. So take a listen. Everyone must go swimming within 30 minutes of eating. Maximum of 2 campers per sleeping bag. Bring cookies for the guy in the hockey mask. Counselors may only get it on the dock after 9 p.m. All campers are required to call home each hour. You have to go in January. You may only raid your own panties. Be sure that you pack your own flute, no pants allowed, and stay away from the murdery east part of the woods. You know, it just seems like the typical stuff that we talk about at summer camps, for sure.
Duh.
Anyways, let's continue talking about some other stuff going on inside of the world, because I am not sure where that was going. So, matter of fact, should we talk to our friends real quick? Yeah, let's let him come in real quick.
I'm Jeff Fider. Most people don't know that most of the billions of dollars that I've won in the last 42 years since becoming a trial lawyer didn't go to me. It went to the thousands of clients that hired me to be their warrior. That's my passion. That's what drives me. And nobody does it better because I was born for this.
Okay, Feiger Law, 1-800-A-WINNER if you want to find out more information, or you can just go to FeigerLaw.com. Before we get you the hell out of here, let's get some more Johnny Smalls with some Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute is courtesy of BetterCreditCards.com. Today's quote has been submitted by Dan. There's a great anonymous quote that says, "The universe will often give you what you truly desire, even when you didn't realize it was what you were truly wanting." I can relate to this. There have been times that I've had a preconceived notion about something, so I avoided it. Then, when I finally tried it, I liked it. Now, I know this has nothing to do with business, but I'm going to use the example of broccoli. I was about 40 years old before I ever even tried broccoli. I thought I didn't like it. Not sure why I thought that. I had never even tried it. Then, I finally gave broccoli a chance. Now it's one of my favorite things. I often pick broccoli over things I used to love. Don't be afraid to try something new. Who knows? Maybe it'll become your favorite thing. This has been today's Motivation Minute, courtesy of BetterCreditCards.com. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Okay, thank you for that one, Johnny Smalls, as we continue to move on real quick. So let me tell you about my friends at the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Know that you're not alone. Whether you have struggled with suicide yourself or have lost a loved one, know that you're not alone. Hear about personal experiences from people in your local communities whose lives have been impacted by suicide and depression. For more information, go to afsp.org. That's afsp.org, or call 1-800-273-TALK. That's 1-800-273-TALK, or text the word TALK to 741-741. So there you go. That's what we got going on that particular end real quick. So make sure that if you are struggling, you do take care of it by going to their website. Anyways, let me give you some scoops of BS real quick. Nick Lachey says that 98 Degrees releasing new music and scheduling performances. And in other huge news from 1998, a dude with a beeper clipped his cargo pants, screamed, "Show me the money," after hearing about the Unabomber that had been caught. A Florida woman with the name Booze was arrested for drunk driving after crashing into a Taco Bell. Eyewitnesses say that the place reeked of gas, then the woman drove into the building. Fact, drinking more than 42 cups of coffee in one sitting can kill you due to the caffeine overdose. And if you go for a coffee at Starbucks, you die from being broke. So there you go. Sunday is the 4th of July. Most people are off, noting that due to the holiday, just a general observation. So just in case. Sunday is the 4th of July, and I'm sorry, but I don't celebrate by blowing off at least one finger with an M80. You clearly hate America. I mean, what the hell's going on when you start thinking about that kind of stuff? Seriously. Okay, so let's do this real quick. I'm not going to do the 30-second countdown. I know it's Friday. We're not going to do the 30-second. We're going to leave it as is because you got an extra day. So you should be able to take out your frustrations without needing the extra 30 seconds. But if you do need a random joke for today, I got something for you. When I was young, I wanted to play the guitar really bad, and now after years of hard work, practice, and determination, I can play the guitar really badly. If you need a phone starter for the day, try this one. What's the best advice you can give in exactly 4 words? Oh, no. Okay, if you need something for the water cooler, try this one. Question, 25% of women say they do this while on vacation, but rarely at home. What is it? Read a book. Well, I don't know about that. My wife reads about 6 to 7 books all at one time. Not a joke. Okay, so that's all I got for you. Hopefully you enjoy your long, extended weekend. Be safe out there over the 4th of July weekend. Make sure that if you are doing the fireworks, you gimmick it up the correct way on how to do it. But if I can leave you with a thought for this weekend, I would love to leave you with this one. Patriotism is not short, fraternizing outbursts of emotion, but the tranquil and the steady dedication of a lifetime. A path without obstacle usually leads nowhere. So, some things to think about as you do move forward. Anyways, you've been listening to the Rated R Safety Show. I know who you are. You know who I am. Love ya, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.